In the Pirkei Avot, timeless teaching stages, we find the teaching of the first zugot, the pairs that are brought down in the 4th and 5th Mishnah. It says as follows: Yossi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim Omer. Yossi, the son of Yochanan of Jerusalem, says, your house should be wide open to guests. The poor should be a constant present, like family in home. Now what's interesting here, so we learn something. We learn something that's fundamental to Jewish philosophy. As we see already from Abraham, that was a great was a great man that would receive everyone into his house. And it says here, we learn a few things on how to receive people in our house as achnasat ochim. I know that we're in COVID-19, so it's a little bit more difficult to have people over. But we see from Avraham Avinu already, he didn't make any choice or pick his guests. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we see by his nephew, if you remember, Lot was one of his nephew, and when Lot went to another city, he learned many things from his uncle Avraham. And one of the things he learned from him is also to bring guests into his home, to be mekabel achnasat orchim. But the difference between Lot and Avraham, one of the differences, is that while Avraham welcomed everybody into his house, Lot only welcomed the angels that came to see him. In other words, Lot was a little bit picky who he brought into his house. If there were not distinguished guests, he would say, no, this is not for me. I'm not going to bring in anyone. Well, we see by a patriarch, Avraham, that received everyone into their house. We see also this whole idea of bringing guests, achnasat ochim, is greater than even receiving the divine presence. As we see, our sages teach us that while guests came over to see Avraham, and Hashem was right there speaking to him, and he told Hashem, wait a second, I have some guests, let me go see what they need so I can give them to eat and to drink. So we see from here that our sages tell us, greater is receiving guests than receiving the divine presence. Now, another last point that we learn from here is that poor people should be made feel at home, just like family, and not just kind of like objects of charity. Even if we are doing a great deed in feeding the needy, treating them as a recipients of charity puts them at a lower plane. So you have not only that we have to give to the poor, we also have to make them feel like members of our family. May be a will of Hashem that we be able very soon accomplish this mitzvah, this great mitzvah of achnasat ochim. We'll be able to bring people into our home. We'll be past this COVID, and we'll be able to accomplish this great mitzvah as our forefathers Abraham did.